So we want to continue today on our talk of forest law. So already we have done some comparison between what we express and understand forest law as compared to the Wiccan tradition. So we want to elaborate some more. And what we are going to ask the question, what is forest law? Right? What is it? Because for some people, they will not really understand what we are talking about with that, and they will also just attribute it perhaps to the forest. So first of all, we want to clarify that when we talk about forest law, what we are talking about is in many respects natural law. So forest law, L-O-R-E, natural law, L-A-W, right? So there is similarities, but there is different. What do we mean by that? Well, we say forest law, so obviously you immediately go to some wooded area and you can think about that kind of area. And when you think of that, you think of elves and nymphs and fairies, this type of elemental energy. And the elements do play a large part in the forest law. But also, when we are talking of forest law, we're not just talking about the forest and the wooded areas. We're talking about any system. Any natural system, so it could be the ocean, it could be a river system, it could be a mountain system, it could be a rainforest, wooded forest, desert, it doesn't matter. That's why we say it's like natural law, right? Forest law like natural law. So we wanted to clarify. When we're talking forest law, we mean any natural system that has a uniqueness about it. But what is in that, right? What is in those unique systems that we could be talking about in regards to law, both L-A-W and L-O-R-E. The essence of forest law is vibration combined with energy, combined with connections. So first we talk about the vibration. Every single thing, living, not living in the sense of some people like the stones and what have you, has a vibration. Every single thing on the planet. Cars have a vibration, trees have a vibration, water has a vibration, human beings have a vibration. Everything has a vibration. And that vibration emanates from the body, right? So it's like there is this field. Some people call it a magnetic field around the individual. Now we talk about energy. Energy and vibration, they're not the same. But energy also emanates from the individual. And the energy can change. Yes, the vibration can change, but normally it is calibrated to that individual or to that thing. But the energy can change. For example, you can be with somebody and you can taste and smell and feel the fear, right? That's an energy that they are emanating. With animals, right? Animals can smell the fear. Right, that's something that's said. That's energy. Now what we talk about is the connection. What do we mean when we talk about connection? Of course, there is a connection between the vibration of the thing and the energy. But those two things set up a connection. Right? It sets up a connection between that thing, whatever it is, person, animal, inanimate object, tree, and something else. And that's what we talk about with forest law. So we're going to use the forest, an actual wooded area, to use as for our example. Some people, when they go into overgrown forests or rainforests, or even, let's talk about water as well, when they go into water, they feel a certain amount of fear, right? They feel uncomfortable. And maybe they feel they don't belong, maybe they feel that there's somebody there, or that they're being watched, or that they're not safe. Right? That they feel there's something there. And what we want to say to people is we want to allay your fears, because what happens is that you are going in with a particular vibration and a particular energy, but every single thing that you're going there to also has that. Now, when you enter any kind of natural system, even in the city, when you enter some natural system, it's like the natural law of the area. In this way, we're talking trees, plants, water, whatever, animals. They will feel a disturbance in their equilibrium. right? Because the equilibrium is the connections. So they will feel a disturbance within those connections of the vibration and the energy connecting all together. And as a result, what they will do is to try and reach out to touch that disturbance. Okay? They want to touch it and they want to experience it so that they can absorb it into the equilibrium. Right? They don't want to change it, they don't want to deform it, they don't want to make it something else. They want to, as it is, bring it into the equilibrium. Right? So that their connections and their energy and their vibration is not disturbed but goes back to this harmony, right? This equilibrium. That's forest law. That's what we talk about. And for us as healers, when we look at forest law like that and we transfer that to the individual, right? We say that's forest law, right? That's the connections. And the equilibrium of that particular natural system does not like to be disturbed. When it is disturbed, it will embrace that, right? But what happens with the human as an individual and as a group is that instead of including, they like to exclude, right? So somebody is unwell. Let's say they have some illness, right? And what happens is that illness, let's say they have cancer. They have the cancer within them. So there is them and then there is the cancer. Right? They know the cancer is in their body. They know it is part of them, but it's separate. It's an entity. Right? So they exclude the cancer. They exclude it. When they go to have treatment, it's exactly the same thing that happens. It's tried to be excluded from the body. It's targeted and excluded. When you look at groups of people, societies, cultures, families, what have you, the same thing happens. Instead of looking at all of those individuals in the group and looking at the vibration and the energy and trying to encompass that to make it a whole, if there's any difference, any kind of difference, whether it be color, accent, education, religion, doesn't matter, they will attempt to exclude because they live in a world of exclusivity. Okay? And so they will exclude that. But what that does, by excluding, actually causes a rift in the connections. Right? It causes a rift because that energy is sort of hitting up against it all the time, hitting up against the other energies and the vibrations. But it's excluded. So the equilibrium is destroyed. But the natural world, right, it doesn't happen like that. Yes, of course, you can say, well, there is the predator and the prey situation, but that's a natural order of things, right? That's a natural world. That's not something that upsets the equilibrium. It actually keeps the equilibrium going, right? It keeps those connections. The prey may not like it, but they have an acceptance that they are going to be preyed upon, right? And the predator knows its role in that equilibrium. So it's all accepted. A good example is when you go into water, right? And you go into the water and the water makes space for you, right? It makes space for you to fit into the water, but then it envelops you. So it includes you. It makes space and then it includes you. And some people say, yes, but there are things like sharks in the water and they will come and attack. But that's true. But if you are going to enter into that environment, enter into that system, instead of excluding the shark, right, include it and understand that you are now its prey, right? There's a possibility you are its prey. But if you can understand that inclusivity, then you are actually gelling with that whole environment, right? You are connecting with that environment and becoming as one. That's what forest law is. And that's how we actually use that to heal people. Because we look at the individual, let us say, and they have some disease of something. And that, as we said, it sets them apart. They have themselves, and then there is the disease that is bothering them, interrupting the life, and it's separate. So we look at that, and we do not say it's separate. We say it's part of who you are. Let's find out why it is part of who you are. That's where we want to go. So we used forest law in that way, in the inclusive way, Inclusivity, not exclusivity. Inclusivity. That's forest law. Blessings to you, our friends. We are the Ancestral Medicine Women, healing from the past for the present and the future.